Good afternoon, YouTube. This is Chuck, and it's Sunday, March 19th, and afternoon. It's kind of a cloudy day. Temperature's around 50. Not a real bad day. But today I'm coming to you from the north parking lot at one of our parks over here, and I picked the spot because it's quiet and I can focus, and I can concentrate, and this rock makes a nice backdrop. That tree has been there a long time, obviously. It's wrapped itself around that granite boulder, and that particular tree is called the Utah juniper. And it's another species of juniper. I talked about junipers in one of my posts, but that's not what we're talking about today. So let me get over here where I can talk at you. Today, I've tried to make this video 3 or 4 times over the past week or so, and I've just been having difficulty keeping my focus enough to do it. So we'll see if we can get her done today. But a while back I did a video where I talked about dealing with the big C, and I'm kind of coming to a conclusion on that. I'm not sure, and I guess the title I'm going to put on this thing is that I know the answer, but I'm not sure what the question is. And so let me tell you a little bit more about that. There's several components to this. Besides the cancer itself, there's going to be a Sasquatch People component, and there's also going to be a spirituality component, and it's all going to connect, providing I can stay focused enough here to talk about it. I've told you before, I'm kind of an ADHD kind of guy, and sometimes I have a real hard time staying focused enough to do a video, and I've been having that trouble doing this video. And so we'll see if we can get her done. This is the first take today. I've tried it 3 or 4 other times, and I just couldn't hold it together. So anyway, and as always, when we're dealing with a Sasquatch subject, the very best thing to do is to go into my playlists, put this one on pause, and go and watch my videos, Bigfoot stuff number 1 through Bigfoot stuff number 7. And on the number 7, include the video on the other channel that's pinned to the comments at the bottom. If you do all that, you're going to understand a little bit more about what I'm talking about here. Otherwise, it might sound like we're kind of way out there with no foundation. So if you want to go do that, I'll sit and wait here for a little bit, because this story's got more twists and turns than a James Bond movie. So I'm just going to stop, and I got my dog with me here. I'll pet my dog for a little bit here, and he'll like that. He likes the van because he can sit right next to me. So I'll be quiet here for a minute. Okay, if you're back now, you should be able to find this starting point. But on my last video on the Bigfoot subject, I talked about healing, and I mentioned that the Sasquatch People, a senior female elder named Deadengen, had worked on my lungs to help me breathe better. Now, what I didn't say in that video is at that time, my urologist had been watching my PSA levels, and that they'd been gradually creeping up, and that he thought that there was a pretty good chance that I had prostate cancer. But at that point, when she worked on me that time, and that's been a while back, at that time it had not been confirmed through biopsy. So after that point, it was confirmed by biopsy, but it was also shown that my prostate cancer was at very, very early stages, and so we could do it, we could monitor it. We didn't have to do anything right away. Well, the night that Deadengen had worked on me, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but the night she worked on me, I had told her that my urologist had thought I had prostate cancer by my PSA levels, and asked her if there's anything that she could do for that. And she actually, at that point, she'd had her hands inside my body on my lungs, and she moved her hands through my body down to my prostate, and I could feel her hands on either side of my prostate. Not for very long. She never said anything. She never told me what she was doing. But for maybe, I don't know, a minute and a half, 2 minutes or so, she had her hands on both sides of the area where my prostate is at. Well, after that, I went for a full year that my PSA counts never went up. In fact, they actually went down a little bit. After a year, the camera's bouncing because the dog's bumping my arm. After a year, my prostate PSA count started climbing back up again. So the decision was made that I needed to have another biopsy. Well, the prostate biopsy is an ugly thing. I won't tell you about it here. Any of you that have had it done know it's terrible. But I went ahead and I did it again, and sure enough, it shows that the cancer in my prostate has gotten worse. So at that point, my urologist says, okay, Chuck, it's time to make a decision as to what you're going to do. That was back in early February, I believe. And so I decided I was going, went on the long RV trip. Those of you that saw went to Santa Barbara, then I went to Quartzsite. And I decided I wasn't going to make a decision until I got back from that. So we got back in the very tail end of February, and my appointment with the urologist, my follow-up appointment was on the 12th of March. Well, on March 9th, Thursday, March 9th, I actually had an encounter at my house after I went to bed at night. I felt a very strong presence in my bedroom shortly after I went to bed. My wife was already asleep. And I guess to explain a little better, as my bedroom is a second floor above a two-car garage. So it's a fairly large room with vaulted ceilings. It's a big room. And I'm laying there and I felt a definite presence that was there. And I reached out in mind speak and asked who was there. And I got a pretty good solid zap. A full body zap, strong, hey, we're here. No doubt about it. So I rolled over and I looked, and my room's not real dark, but I didn't have my glasses on. But I saw a very, very, what looked like a very large, wide, shimmering image standing next to my bed. And as I looked a little closer, it actually appeared to me that there was three of them standing side by side, and a larger one in the middle and two other ones, and couldn't really tell how tall, but they were pretty sizable individuals. And so I was asking them if they were somebody I knew and what their names were, and I was trying to get them to talk to me, and they wouldn't really talk to me. And after about 2 or 3 minutes, they apparently made me go to sleep. And when I woke up a little while later, they were gone. So, but what I kind of got told, I didn't get told directly. In other words, they didn't slap me upside of the head and tell me this. But I think they downloaded me, and I think they told me that what this cancer thing really is a test of my faith. Now, I'm a man of faith, and that's a fairly recent thing too. And I'll put a link at the bottom of this one in the comments to a video that I did over on the Arizona Squatch channel that talks about what happened. And maybe I'll even talk about it in a different video on this channel. But basically, I'm scheduled to go down to a cancer specialty clinic down in the Phoenix metro area that's pretty well known to decide what my course of action is going to be. I'm leaning toward just having my prostate removed. I don't necessarily want to go through the radiation. I've talked to some friends that have had the different procedures, but that's kind of where I'm at right now on that. But I have another question that's come up in my mind. And that question is, if they were able to stop my cancer from growing for a year, and my cancer still isn't real bad, it is getting worse, and they told me that what this really is a test of my faith. Okay, so there's one of two questions. So one question would be, okay, I'm an old guy, an ex-firefighter who got prostate cancer, which is pretty common, and I have to figure out how to deal with it. But the other question is this is a test of my faith. So, do I put my faith in man and his medicine? Or do I put my faith in God the Father and just tell him that whatever his plan is, that's what I'm going to go with, and let it go at that? If that's really the question, I know the answer. If that's not really the question, then I still have to really decide which direction I'm going to go on the treatment. So, it's kept me awake at night. I've put a lot of thought into this. As I said, I've tried to make this video several times, and I've had a hard time keeping it together and keeping my thoughts together and keeping focused. But if it's the second question, I know what the answer is. So with that, I'll close as I always do. I'll tell you to love each other, take care of each other. It's a wonderful life. Everything's going according to God's plan. And I'll talk to you again on the next one. So let me zoom back over here on the rock again so I can find the button to turn this thing off. And so everybody have a good day, and we'll talk to you again real soon.